Minimalist practices that make me rich. As someone who has spent a lot of money on things, I can say with certainty that the things we buy don't change our lives much, if at all. For instance, this sweater is the same as the other 5 jumpers I have in my closet. Taking care of my face in 10 steps didn't make it 10 times better. And it wasn't a surprise that the $500 hairdryer worked about the same as my $30 one. Makeup is only on the surface. We are the same people, no matter what we wear. And the things in our house don't make our lives better in the long run. When we learn that being rich in things isn't very deep and leaves us open to danger, we start to wonder what we're really working for. So much of our culture is about being rich in things instead of being rich in life. But since I became frugal, I've built my life around what I think real wealth is. My health, emotional health, relationships, time, and experiences are at the top of that list. So I thought I'd tell you about 5 of the most important money habits I've learned as a minimalist that have helped me make this change. You may have heard of this famous study about money and happiness. Researchers have found that a person's happiness goes up as their income goes up, but there's a point between $75,000 and $125,000 a year where the increase in happiness stops going up. I think the study is out of date, and so many things were not taken into account. But when I read it, I started to think for the first time about how much money I need to live a good life. I had to find out the hard way a few years ago when my point of diminishing returns was. My husband and I had more than enough money, but I was so eager to make more that I took every chance I could to do so without thinking about what I was giving up. That is, my time on the weekend is to sleep, spend time with my family, and do things I enjoy. When I think about it now, that extra money wasn't worth it. It is a blessing to be able to work and make money. It's great to have financial goals, but there are so many other things in life that make us happier as a whole. So, knowing how much I need to live a good life has been the most important thing that has helped me keep my life in balance. Once I reach that goal, I know that the extra money won't be useful to me anymore. Money comes and goes, but there are things in life that are more important. I think there are times when we have to accept living inflation. I used to travel on a tight budget and stay in packed hostels when I was in my early 20s. But now that I'm in my 30s, I like to travel in a new way and stay with my husband somewhere nicer. It's not a bad thing to work hard to get a better life for ourselves, but if we're not careful with our money, lifestyle inflation can creep in and get out of hand. It can be a tricky situation. What used to be a pleasure becomes a need, so we can't save up for bigger purchases that might make a bigger difference in our lives. My husband and I live pretty much the same way, no matter how much more money we make. This has actually given us more room and freedom to spend on things outside of our normal income when we really want to and need to. When life gets busy, I can go get a massage, visit my parents for their birthday, or pay for a dog's grooming. But these costs happen so rarely that they don't have a big effect on our total budget, and when they do, it feels like a nice treat. So, this is a warning for you to go look at your bills. Know how much you really need, and save the rest for a bigger goal. I think this is the best way to be happy with your life while still working toward the life you want. Investing our money is probably the fastest way to make more money, but I think it's just as important to invest in our health. I mean that. I don't mean spending money on things that make you happy because they're good for you. But what I'm talking about is getting a stand-up desk if you work from home, going out for lunch on Mondays so you have something to look forward to, or joining a group because you want to be part of a community. Getting richer and having a lot of money don't mean anything if we don't have a good mind. In my other movies, I talk about all the easy and free ways we can do this, like getting enough sleep, working out, having hobbies, and eating right. But sometimes it's not that easy, and we can use money in ways that help us now instead of later. I know I said at the beginning of the movie that the things we buy don't change our lives much, if at all. I'm not changing my story here, but there are, of course, exceptions. It's important to put money into yourself, your safety, your health, and your peace of mind. And getting the right things can sometimes make all the difference in the world. People in their 70s and 80s were asked for one piece of advice in an interview I saw the other day. Most of them gave the same answer, which was that we shouldn't compare ourselves to others. Even though I've heard this advice a lot, it hit me in a different way when it came from people who had been through a lot more than I had. I used to compare myself to other people as a way to push myself to do better. Since that person was making more money, so should I? They bought a nice house, so that should also be my goal. But I understood that, even though I had good intentions, I wasn't doing it for myself. And I was just helping someone else reach their goal. It's hard not to compare ourselves to our friends and other people we know well. Even more so because other people will do it for us and tell us what they think is normal. But when we stop to think about how different everyone really is, we know that comparing the two will never be a good idea. I want to be able to look back on my life in my golden years and know that I did my best to live a life that was true to me, that I spent my time doing things that were important to me, that I spent my money how I wanted to, and that I had a lot of fun while doing it. I think this is how real wealth looks. Every day, we have to make hundreds or even thousands of choices. We can't commit to all of them, so we have to pick the ones that add the most value to our lives. I've been using this same idea with my money, and it's made a huge difference. Do I really want to spend time and energy on that project, extra work, or second job? How much use will it have for me? And when I buy something, is it worth what I'm giving up? I ask myself if it's worth the money I'm paying for it and the time I've spent working for it. It only takes a few minutes to think about it, but I think it always helps me choose between my choices. So, whenever I say yes to something, it's always with a lot of enthusiasm. I think the first step to setting limits is knowing how much our time and energy are worth. Without it, we have no idea where to go. It can also make us do things or spend money we didn't mean to. So make a quick mental list to help you decide what to do. Your goals will be clear to everyone. I hope you guys liked today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.